This is Truth Frequency Radio.
The wicked ones obviously under heavy Masonic influence.
When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats in rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. What is up, everyone? It is Saturday night. I am Frank Castle, your sorcerer supreme of the Saturday night airwaves, and I am here with my etherical translator, Paula Milo.
Hey, everyone.
We want to say
it's good to be back.
It's really good to be back. Special shout outs to Chris and Cherie. Without you guys, I love you guys so much. We wouldn't be here telling the story of what's been going on. So with that, if you like the music you hear on the show tonight, check out Heist Click, HeistClick. That's my music group. If you want to show some support, you go out there, help the different hosts by downloading the app, maybe getting a subscription monthly, every 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, month.
Whatever suits your needs, get a subscription.
We got something for everybody, so don't forget to check it out. And don't forget, wherever you are, make it TFR. It's good to be back.
It is.
I have all these notes in front of me, and I'm really honestly just confused as the next person over about what's been going on, so maybe we should just get into it. I'm a little sloppy this evening. I feel like every being that's out there that doesn't want the message to get out is making sure their best power that it doesn't come out. There's a lot of confusion right now.
Oh yeah, it started with the mics. The last show. I mean, just very.
We had
silly.
a new setup, multiple mics. Everything worked the first couple of times, then stopped working completely. Has not been able to work again. So just bear with us. We're using the one mic right now. But so we were gone for the last 2 weeks. We had some
personal issues. We had a death in the family, and I want to thank everyone, all of the listeners and all of our friends for their well wishes and their prayers. Very comforting, very kind. Thank you so much. It made this time much easier than it had been.
It is always a difficult time when someone we love passes. I've noticed one of the hardest things to do is remember everything we've learned up until that point.
Oh, yeah, it's very easy to forget. You know, like Frank and I are on this journey, and it's very easy to slip into old ways because you're afraid. You're afraid for the people that are left behind. My aunt passed away, and she's in a beautiful place, and I'm so happy she's not suffering anymore, but it's the path of chaos, the path of heartbreak that's left behind. I mean, even her animals are still feeling the effects, and it's very sad, but she's in a great place. I mean, see this? Yeah, here's now. Here we go. Yeah,
we'll throw it right into the weird category. It is what it is.
Frank even saw her after she passed, so I know she's in a good place. And but it's it's your loved ones, it's the people you leave behind, it's the things that didn't get to get said before one passed, but now she knows everything. She knows everything about us now. And we've been trying to explain to her for months what it is that we do. And she was not getting it. And it took our passing for her to finally understand, I guess, what it is that we do.
It's almost like we've been saying for a while now, the old way of thinking, old Earth, new way of thinking, new Earth. Old Earth isn't going to be able to handle the new energies, the new increasing changes, the higher frequencies, the higher vibrations, call them whatever it is you want. And those that actually can't handle the knowledge, they're not gonna make it. I mean, you have to put in just a little bit. If you put in less than 1% your foot forward, it's going to start working for you.
Oh, yeah, you'll see change. You'll see change within yourself. And then once you see the change within yourself, you'll see change happening around you.
Redemption is only a thought away. That's really all it is.
Happiness, freedom, relief is only one thought away. And you don't realize it until you actually execute that thought. Have the thought, get comfortable with the idea of the thought, and then actually execute it. And then, your freedom and your happiness is right on the other side of that.
And it really is a thought. You're just blocked off. And one of the things I noticed, I was sitting in the wake. I was so sad, right? And I was sad for everyone else.
Yeah, everyone that's left behind.
I was sad for what they didn't accomplish with your aunt. I was sad for people just sitting around being sad and not really understanding. I find myself when I'm there, like my mother explained this to me, it should be a time for celebration. Celebration, not like a party with beers and going nuts, but some kind of, like the priest did something really cool I never seen before.
No, I've never seen that either.
When he asked people to start, just say something nice.
Yeah, say something nice. And so many people had wonderful things to say.
I mean, it started spreading through the crowd.
It did.
It did. It was really nice to see.
But that's the way you should live. Well, look, I don't tell anyone how to live their lives, but that's the way I try to live my life. People who know me know how I'm feeling. They know how I'm feeling at any given time. There's no question. And I believe in my life that you should know how I feel if I think you're beautiful, if I think you're kind, if I think you're sweet, if I think I want you around all of the time. Because if I'm not here tomorrow, I don't want you to question how I felt about you. I want you to understand and know how much you're valued and how much you're loved. We have made so many friends, Frank and I, on this journey. And it hasn't been easy. I mean, it's been uplifting and it's been just a wild ride from the beginning, but it hasn't been easy. We've dealt with a lot of criticisms. We've dealt with a lot of judgment, but it's what you do with that information. And for us, we feel you don't believe what we're saying, that's fine. You don't agree with what we're saying, that's fine as well. Take what you need. It might be one sentence, this show is an hour. It might be one phrase, one sentence, one thing that Frank or I say that you may agree with, and that's what we're looking for. We're happy with that. We're not looking for, we're
not trying to convert you, trying to change you.
It's not a cult following.
There's no right way to do this or wrong way. You just have to do something.
It is just a way of thinking. And if you can stay on this path of thinking and, you can try to make yourself a little better tomorrow and a little better the day after that, that's all you can do. That's truly all you can do. Do you want to go into?
Well, no, I was kind of just things I'd noticed from being quiet and silent during a few days period. Had a lot of time to just sit and meditate on what was occurring, with all the changing energies and things that were going on. I was watching and waiting, knowing what I can do personally, when to see if your aunt was going to say anything to me. I was just curious.
Oh, send a message, you mean?
I didn't know after it occurred. I spoke to Christy. And I mean, immediately after, as a matter of fact, it happened. I walked into the house, sat at the computer. She actually hit me up. And then I just started typing to her, when's the right time to say something about this? I mean, like a day after? I was walking down the parkway, about to sip a cup of coffee from Dunkin' Donuts, and I had been walking a little bit, and I finally hit that stride in the walk that I tell you, you get into that moment.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, where it's starting to feel good.
Yeah, you start to feel good. There's nothing in the thought area. Your mind's not racing, nothing. You're just looking at that coffee. You're like, this is going to be delicious. Holy, there she is. She was standing right next to me. And I just looked over and I said, hey, how are you? She said, you can see me. I knew you can see me. I said, I'm a little weirded out by this right now because we're on the Parkway. I said, I don't know what to say, except I'm glad I seen that she was okay. She was wearing white and blue, so I knew she was all right. And she looked over at me and she said, whatever you do, don't say anything to Paula. I don't want her to freak out. And I said, okay, well, we've been trying to explain this to you
for months. This is how we understand.
Even
things.
Our process was so slow with this woman with a lot of people that it almost is like a seed that's dropped. It's like barely mentioned, and then inferenced a few times and let go, and then other people start coming at us from different directions and blaming us for things and pointing fingers, and then it comes to be we haven't done anything wrong. It's just, they hear Frank drank ayahuasca. Oh my God, he's a monster,
yeah, he's
right?
A monster.
So then it comes back around to find out that Frank's not a monster. All he did was try to help himself, and to people like then leaning in and trying to get a pea-sized understanding of just a little bit of what's happening.
Right.
Well, it went from this, Paula. It went from that situation to me looking over and saying, well, I don't know what to say other than, I go with love. But you don't need to walk into the light. Beware of the light. You are the light. You don't need to go into the light. You're a free roaming being, so to speak. You can do what you wish. And she looked me right in the eyes and she goes, Frankie, you don't have to worry about that no more. They took the net down.
The soul net. Yeah.
She turned me around and I looked, and what I saw was multiple people who had passed. Just they were mixed in across the whole Parkway. It looked like they were standing in this flat area just waiting for something.
Well, I think Christy explained. So Christy is our friend. She's an astrologer. You can reach out to her on Facebook. You can find her through Frank if you go on Facebook. It's Christy Belich. I always say her last name wrong. She's an astrologer, and she was explaining that there's a supermoon Monday. And that a lot of souls are waiting for that supermoon to do their crossing.
Listen,
over.
You guys in the chat room can snap away all you want and call BS on certain things, but let me tell you what, these stories and these happenings have been happening since the beginning of time. People leave their body and visit people constantly. This goes on daily, every day.
Everywhere, every day. The animals do it. The cats can travel astrally all the time.
For the magic to be revealed, you have to be willing to see the magic. Okay, I was thick-headed too. No, it's all BS. It doesn't work. And then they're in front of you and it works. Once you access this stuff, it's easy to access over and over and over. It's like practice. It's like throwing a ball. You didn't know how to throw it right at first until you practice to throw it. It's like riding a bicycle. It's like exercising a muscle you didn't even know you had.
Right.
You're gaining control over a gland that lets you secrete something and squirt it out into your system that lies a biological and chemical reaction inside your body to do all the things that you didn't think you were able to do. Right? But you're here and you believe you work 40, 80 hours and die? I mean, what's easier to believe?
Well, we believe what we're told, right? And we're told what we're told by people who were told the same exact thing by their parents and their families.
And nobody has a clue what's going on.
Right. But we were lucky enough in this life at this time to be awakened. And my aunt has a very good understanding now of how I see things and how I see the world. She had asked me once about you in particular a couple months ago. She said, quick, and she snapped her fingers and she said, what do you love about Frank? Go. And I didn't hesitate. I said, the thing I love about him is he thinks the way I think. Not many people think the way I do. And he understands. When we have a conversation, he understands what I'm saying because he thinks he's a like-minded thinker. And we're not just talking about the way we write out a grocery list. I mean, we're talking about how we view things and how we feel spiritually. So for my aunt to say to Frank, don't tell my niece, this is going to scare her, and, she was still tied to the earthly. And Frank was like, no, this is what Paul has been trying to tell you. This is basically what we do. This is how we understand things to be. She's not afraid. She's not sad. She's not afraid. She's so happy for you, and that's all I want. All I want is people to understand that I want good for them.
Right.
In this life or the next.
It's understood outside of the realm of your awareness.
Right.
Because
that's
you're stuck in this human shell that's picking up 4%. 4%, guys. 4.
Of your brain.
Not 4%
capacity.
of everything that's going on around you.
Of your brain capacity.
No, not even brain capacity. You're just picking up on 4% of what's happening around you. 4%.
Of daily.
We're awake right now. We're aware of 4%. Some of us just dip deeper. That's all. We're just on the radio talking about it. We're not the end all mean all of this whole thing. We want people to get out there and think. We want people to get out there and understand who they are. That's all we want. I don't want you to follow me. I don't care if you follow me. I want you to hear what I'm saying and take what you need out of it and go wake yourself up. Go wake up others. Go nuts. We're living in a place.
Yeah, we're living in a very volatile time now. And you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to talk about the election. We're going to go there because
we have to now.
Because there's so many things happening right now. Oh, there's a chat room lovely. Her birthday is Monday. And happy birthday. But with the supermoon, it might be a very emotional birthday. But happy birthday.
Absolutely.
And
get ready to get rid of all that negative and let it go.
Yeah, let it go. Just let it go. But,
Christy was explaining to us that, and this was weird. I explained something to Paula the other day. I said, they look like they're in this area waiting and just hanging out. It's almost as if we are raising in density. And now I'm not looking up at these things, right?
No,
they're not looking. They're not
yeah.
looking down at me, going, "Hey, this isn't like Casper the Friendly Ghost." It's like you being there. And I looked over, and she was there, and everyone else was there waiting. Christy turns around and says, well, with the coming of the supermoon, that's when the passing occurs.
Yeah.
It's when everybody kind of packs up their bags and goes on to the next thing.
Well, there was more to that. It was because of Halloween, the veil was very thin between I guess, dimensions.
Yeah, it's very low now. There's portals open.
Oh, yeah, no, all over the place. I know.
It's hard for us to just jump around in these conversations. It'll just sound like we're in pretend land.
No, we're gonna keep on. We're gonna keep on track. So now we're going into the election. So it's just been a very volatile time, and then everyone watched the debates, and then we had the elections, and most of the country thought it was going to go one way, and then it didn't.
On the etherical realm and the spiritual realm, they couldn't look past the election.
No one could see past the election.
Anyone that was seeing past that was full of it. They kept saying the probabilities of things occurring are going to be X, Y, and Z. And as the days change, and as our minds change, as the collective consciousness changed, the shift would go all the way to the left, all the way to the right. No one knew what was going on, right? People assume that if I say, well, we're lucky Hillary Clinton didn't get in because we'd have an evil, blood-drinking, baby rapist, accomplice.
Stop.
Listen, she's part of the system and part of that program, and those programs are running a program that is disgusting. But she's part of it, right? So naturally they go, oh, he likes Donald Trump, kill him. Now, I don't like Donald Trump, and I don't like Hillary Clinton. So you can't take my head off for saying, well, aren't we lucky that we avoided World War III, at least for a little while? I mean,
with Hillary,
Putin was screaming. Now, we don't even know if any of these threats are real. This could be 1984. It could be all BS.
That's right.
All of this can be scripted 100%. They could have thrown her under the bus. But they did throw her under the bus. So should we look the gift horse in the mouth? Shouldn't we just take this as the momentum we need to make the change? In a few days, I think certain things have gone up. Trump has, looked over and said, we don't want to go to war. A couple other things happened that were pretty decent in a few days. Now, yes, he could be applying other characters into the situations down the road that are questionable 100%, but is it better that we have it this way or the other way? I don't understand what more you guys want. Do you want nuclear war? Or do you not want nuclear war? Is this really my guy versus your guy? Is this Superman versus Batman and only one winner could be it? Where's the other guys? Why do you need someone to be over you like that? What do these people take? I wanted the chat room was saying something about, where are these people that are out there protesting and doing their thing? These are crybabies. They're crybabies because they should just be getting back into the system, making what they do the best to their ability instead of going out and wrecking property, which we think that these people are Soros-paid protesters. But listen, whether it is or isn't, there are some dark beings that arrive when you start rioting.
Yes.
Right? So when you're in that group mentality, I punch you in the face, my boy punches you. Then the next dude, he's just hanging out with us, he punches you. By the time we're done, you're dead from being punched 100 times, and everybody was like,
But it's the same.
we didn't need to do that, but you did it because there was a group mentality going on.
But it's the same thing with people that rally together. That's a collective consciousness, right?
You can rally is different.
You can raise or lower your vibration. So now,
who's controlling that?
Right. So now what we need to do, it's done. The decision has been made. It's done. So now we just have to continue being the best people that we can be.
100% the best. Now is your time to take this momentum, shift it, and go with the flow. 2 good things happen, maybe 3. Take it and run with it. Because if it was the other way, from what I was seeing, from what we were all seeing, is if it would have went with the Clintons, it would have been dark immediately.
Oh, from what you were being shown.
Yeah.
No, I'm just clearing it up because
right. Well, look,
there are some people that don't know you. So, yeah, from what you were being shown.
From what I was being shown, it was very dark. There were multiple applications in play that would have sucked across the board. They were going so far as to use Project Fire Sign. Everyone's discussed this. It's Project Bluebeam, fake phony alien invasion. Look, we're a show with the metaphysical and the ultra normal, and we're still laughing about the fake alien invasion stuff.
No, it's funny.
But look at the people out there protesting. So look at the mind, the hive mind that's working on that side. You can see who's controlling those groups of people that have been uploaded with the virus, the dark virus. They're out there running around, running amok, trying to get you to do that. They want martial law so bad so they could lock us down. Don't give it to them. The answer, we did this in the first 3 shows. The answer was no, right?
No. The answer is no.
Listen, buddy, now that you're on the spiritual side and you could see things, I think you should come over here and
you don't have to take it all in.
Yeah.
Chat. See, I agree. Chat room, neutralize the negative energy.
Exactly. It's your job to anchor to the. All right. Let's make this cartoonish so people can actually understand in their mind and picture what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Stand in a position where your knees are slightly bent.
Oh, yeah.
Your elbows are slightly bent, right? Okay? And then think through the center of yourself, grounding to the planet like an anchor, dropping from you. I know this sounds funny, but from the center of your being and wrapping like roots around the center of the earth. Well, now you're grounded. Now, any energy that comes in, you can either transmute, negate, send off, let it enter your stream and flow alongside you and give you more. That's where we're at. You get a couple of 100 people doing that, you're going to see the situation change.
You get 3 people doing it because you can't have 2 people that are in a good mood and then 1 person that's in a bad mood in the same room. Because the person in the bad mood is either going to leave or he's going to change his mood. And that's what you want, because your vibration won't allow someone that is not vibrating at the same frequency. It's not going to allow the 2 of you to be in the same room.
Anyone enjoying
or in the same environment.
Yeah.
Be you, do you, it's the only way I can say it. Like, Frank can be in a bad mood and I can be in a good mood, and then we'll just both go to opposite ends, and then we'll come back in 5 minutes and then everything's fine. Change your vibration. All right, didn't we want to put that on a t-shirt? What was the thing about the vibe?
Well, we had some good ones, but we need to teach people how to anchor in and change their frequencies. You can stop for a second. They always tell you, take a second and stop and breathe. Yeah, breathe. Right, just breathe. Breathe a couple of times, breathe. And you're like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Everybody that walks it off for another 3 minutes, and you come back and you're like,
You're right. We do it all the time. You and I do it all of the time.
And let me tell you guys something. I'll tell you a little secret about me. You think the Hulk gets angry? I am the harborer of the most angry of the angry. there's no one out there that's even putting up with my stuff. And I've been under a fearless journey to take this anger
and break it,
and break it. It's not
it,
breaking me.
Decimate it, yeah.
I was angry at everything. I get mad at everything, right? I don't anymore.
No.
Now when I get mad, she laughs because she'll go in the other room, come back out, and I'm like, hey, what's up? Yeah. And she's like, oh, all right, that was quick.
Yeah.
I could make a simple rant like the microphone problem we had today.
Yeah. Your bounce back rate is wonderful. You've been bouncing back.
I laid down for a second. I walked outside for a second. I took a look at the moon. I said, oh, what a big moon outside. Interesting. I want to choke the moon. And I kept breathing. And then I was like, I love the moon. What are you talking about? I was able to dispel the negative thought because I don't think those negative thoughts are actually ours.
No.
I believe we're being hit with a bombardment of we can pick up the emotional bandwidth. We are it. So when things tickle us, like on the wrong side, on the wrong part of the bandwidth, it can infect us.
Yeah.
You know?
Agreed. I agree with that.
If you're not in full control of your vehicle, something else will be. They look to you.
Yeah, anything can get in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Any mood, any thought form entity, they can get in the driver's seat and they can take over, and then you have to regain control.
And I know that emotions are the platform for this whole thing. I spoke about this before, popped out of my body for the first time wide awake when I was in prison. And then I said, no, this can't be real. It can't be real. And then 2 seconds later, popped myself out again and said, no, this is real. And was able to sit with another 2 months to practice it. When we come back, we're going to talk more about other beings being able to just step inside and take over. Your protection from deception.
You are now tuned into the truth frequency.
Your protection from deception. TLR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Am I awake or is this a dream? It's a dream. It's a dream. A fantasy of where I'd rather be. So come and talk with me. Come and walk with me. Is this a wake-up call from my reality? Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my girl? Wake me up from this. I'm trapped in this world.
I mean, we're back. Here's my thing.
I knew you were going to start in a rant. I knew it.
Can you see it? Can you feel it? Can you feel the difference? Did you feel the shift a little bit? All right, we were talking about this the other day. Donald Trump and his victory, whether it was staged or not, right? At one point, there was this conscious shift inside of everyone.
Yeah.
There was the Rocky Balboa moment. Whether they gave it to you or not, the mass consciousness does not want to go to war. So it swung with the one that, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to break the system like that.
Well, no, I think it was...
It's going to go with the one that's best possible scenario.
But I think everyone was talking about... There was so much fodder and so much talk about Trump, whether you were for or against him, that he literally became a consciousness.
Yeah, it became its own thing.
Yeah, he became his energy became a consciousness.
WWE or not, every station was attacking him. My house, I couldn't sit in my living room because all they would say is his name.
I just have to say, I love the chat room people. You are awesome. You all are awesome. Amazing.
But now look what it's showing you. It's like the cards and the hands have now been revealed. You see these rioting protesters, staged or not good. Not what you want. Not here. You see the way the immigration's being dealt with, the pipelines being dealt with, the presidency, the actual presidency, the election process itself.
Oh, yeah.
If you can't see what's going on right now, then you're old Earth. Allow me to just be the first person to tell you.
But that's okay. That's okay too. See, we have to be understanding about these things. Relax. Your heart is jumping out of your chest. Relax. Slow your roll. Relax. Everyone's allowed to feel the way they do, but we have a responsibility Now that we know how our energy affects other people, we have a responsibility to ourselves and to other people to vibrate at the highest level we can vibrate.
Right. And people are looking now. They're looking around. They see the clown show. They don't know what's happening. Those that are vibrating higher are looking in us, right? And the people like us are looking in at the situation and telling you guys, look up here. Look up. Come up. Don't look over there. When you look over there, they have your attention to that garbage. Look here. We're above this. Right? It's kind of like we're above an ant. You don't know we're there. And then there's others above. I talk about the dollhouse effect all the time. It's starting to occur with us. Look to us. Look up to yourself. Look in to yourself and look up. Think up. Think better. You could be in the worst situation. Do it. Do it. Do it for yourself.
You can be in the worst situation.
Don't let no one take anything.
Is intend the best possible outcome. Because we can't avoid bad situations. We can't avoid crappy situations. We can't avoid unpleasant situations. All we can do is intend the best possible outcome. You know, that's all anyone can do. And keep your vibration up. Stay in a level of happiness. Stay in a level of peace. Stay in a level of content in your own life.
Find the vibration that makes you smile.
Right.
And smile until your face hurts.
Yeah.
Then smile until your inside face hurts. And you don't even have a face in there. You're this giant light being. Just turn into a giant smile then. You're going to wreck the things around you that aren't. The illusion will destroy itself.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, I mean, we all can't live in this happy world
It's
24 hours a day. But, you know,
we're all
snap
sharing
out of
this
it.
place.
Yeah. You know, I mean, we all, you know, I mean, Frank and I creep out of it all the time. And then we, you know, we become animals and then we snap out of it. And we change our frequency.
Look,
you just got to go right
we're
back
not
to
perfect, but this is what we do, right? Hey, man, you've been a little out of it. Yeah, I know. And it's only been 10 minutes I've been out of it. And you can tell right away.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then instant change back. Let's try to change it back.
Yeah, you bounce right back.
Are you meditating? Are you? What are you doing to make it better? I'm not even gonna knock on the church right now, because if going to church makes you feel a little better, right? To raise your vibration, you'll break through the church nonsense eventually. But you have to see yourself as the church. It's got to be like inside of you.
Yeah, you have to be uplifted by it.
You know, you have to take that feeling and run with it. You don't have to force it on anybody else. Forget it. You know, I do this show, so I don't tell people, hey, you know what I can do? I'm a shaman, and I can help. Like
Oh yeah, we don't have conversations
like that
anymore. Yeah,
was like that, and I'm like, nobody wants help.
No, not only did they not want help, they did not want to hear the story either. So we thank you, but you know, I mean,
Well, now it's funny. A bunch of guys that I know. Now I'm around. I say this all the time. Some gangster people sometimes, right? And you'll see gangsters shake, like just with the conversation.
Because it's the unknown.
It's deep into the unknown. I go, you think that it's even this, and that's the spiritual and the unknown, and whoa, we read it out of this weird book, and whoa. Did you ever think outside of the book, though? Right? Like or
outside of your own head.
Yeah.
You know, you were taught what your family taught you because it's what they knew, because they were taught by their family.
And it's okay.
It's okay, but it doesn't make it all right. You know, there is, you know, like the whole thing, like, you know, we talked about this, like Frank and I were brought up Roman Catholic. We were confirmed. We received First Holy Communion. We were confirmed. We were christened. You know, I mean, terrible Catholics, but you know, it's bigger than that. You know, we're not saying Jesus doesn't exist. We're not saying God is dead. We're not saying that all religion is bad. We're just saying that. Yeah, we're just saying, breathe, Frank. Chat room people are worried you're going to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
we're just saying, just use discernment, question things a bit more. And if you don't want to question them out loud, question them in your head. There's nothing wrong. You don't want to, you're sitting with a group of people at a table having dinner, and you may not agree with what they're saying, or you may not agree with what they believe, but you're afraid to say it. Just questioning it is the start.
Right.
Just saying,
I'm telling you,
I'm
it's
allowed.
the one thought.
Yeah, I'm allowed to think a little differently than you think.
Frank keeps saying we're light beings, but I know, like they say, another religious person, we're from the light. Like they don't disagree with me. Oh, well, we are from the light, but then they separate the God thing and they make him above you. And they make him a him.
Because it comes down to a religion thing. It comes down to what they were taught in their religion.
We match theories up until that point.
Right.
Right? And the rest of your theories make no sense, religion, after this. But if you just look in the door and go, well, he did say we were light. He is the nice guy. Like, he's not out there doing anything bad. Maybe just look, take a peek, drop the seed, go for an internet search.
Have a conversation with someone that you normally wouldn't have a conversation with. We're not saying drop your religion. We're just saying that, religion is very fear-based.
Keep your faith. Right?
Yeah, it's easier to control people through fear. You can control the masses of people through fear, and just be less afraid about something tomorrow.
Yeah. By the way, the boogeyman's not outside and under your bed. Keep a mindful and a watchful eye on things, because there's stuff happening everywhere. But don't
but there are other entities.
Yeah. I know. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
If you vibrate high enough, they can't really get to you. They're always going to be there because you're in this 3D reality, so they can affect things around them to a certain degree. They could constantly whisper in your ear, so to speak.
Yeah, but
all they're doing is buzzing your vibration.
Right. It's like they're knocking on the door. They want to see if they can get a reaction from you also.
On the other side, do you know what we look like to them?
Yeah, we look alien to them.
We look like these giant, bright lights, like that they're just so attracted to. Like, oh, look at this. Food, energy, life, warmth. Everything not dark.
A range of emotion.
That's
not out there.
Oh, when he does this, I get this. And when he does this, he goes, yeah, because you're standing in a field of energy. And guess what I am? I'm like a lightning rod, and I'm just attracting everything. And if I'm not grounded, it doesn't work right. It's like the information doesn't come to you if you're not grounded into the planet. All right, let me just jump a little bit here. I'm seeing a lot of these people rioting, and I read something, and it reminded me of what I was seeing. Let me just read it. It's from Ema Chodron. I think that's how you say the name. Suffering comes from wishing things were different. Misery is self-inflicted when we are experiencing the ideal to overcome the actual, or needing things or people or places to be different for us so we can then be happy. Let the hard things in life break you. Let them affect you. Let them change you. Let these hard moments inform you. Let this pain be your teacher. The experiences of your life are trying to tell you something about yourself. Don't cop out on that. Don't run away and hide under your covers. Lean into it. What is the lesson of the wind? What is the storm trying to tell you? What will you learn if you face it with courage, with full honesty, and lean into it?
But it's like what we talk about all the time. Would you rather be right, or would you rather be happy? So I just had this conversation with my brother the other day. He would rather be right. And, his wife is from the school that I am. I'd rather be happy. So, you know what? If you need it, I'll give it to you. If you need to win that argument, then win the argument. Because it doesn't matter to me at the end. After we have the argument and you disagree with me, we're still going inside and we're watching Stranger Things. The life is still going to go on. So if you're going to wait for the satisfaction of being right, you're not going to be happy, because the two can't go together.
They're not meant to go together.
You can't have opposing feelings about the same thing. It doesn't work like that.
It's so weird. The dualistic universe that we're in, the crazy things that are occurring, the changes that are happening. I look at this and I see a springboard into the next thing occurring. I see destruction of the old in with the new, of old consciousness, new consciousness, but I also see a hijacking
Of consciousness?
Of consciousness.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that happened to
Right?
us. Yeah.
We have beings and things and technology pulling you away from your awareness of your true self at all times to keep you from the knowledge that what? You are source. It's you. They built an avatar and wanted one of us in there, and they got it.
They got it.
When we
They
got in
it.
here, we were confused. We're like, oh, what the hell is this? And they go, we're your gods. You know, even me, I get played with on the higher levels. I get up to the high levels. I'm like, well, everyone's got to be good here. And they're not. There's beings that pretend to be Ra. They pretend to be other characters.
Well, because there's trickery everywhere.
Okay.
You know,
here-
you had to put that being through the test, right?
Absolutely.
Like it's trickery.
Now, here's the new trickery. Okay, here's my disclaimer. Now it's time for the disclaimer. This is the story of my journey and my journey alone. I don't suggest you try this at home alone. That is, unless you're ready. And then by all means, proceed. But first, we suggest finding a reputable shaman who knows what he or she is doing and travel safe in the love and the light. And remember, the universe rewards bravery. Okay, check it out. A lot of people tease me now because I'm not as hard as I used to be, right? I'm laying in bed with Paula.
And Squeakle.
And I'm feeling nothing but love. Like, I'm looking around the room going, yes, this is it. This is my family. This is my love.
1-bedroom apartment, 3 cats. Yeah.
And then it happens. The first being just literally, it's my mind, when I stand next to Paula, if we're physically touching, it's like her power would be to make my power more powerful.
Right.
Right? So just standing around you, our aura field is big and awesome. And if anything gets in there, it's usually good. It's like an ally, as we would call them.
Yeah, because they can't get through the door. Otherwise.
Right. So here's where it happens. This giant white being that was just sitting there, just floating. I saw his face first, and it was a him. He spoke and made a comment about how nice things were and how comfortable and easy it would now be. And as he spoke, I saw more of his body.
You in your life?
Yeah, no, well, he was just viewing me as I was saying.
As you were commenting on your situation.
How I feel about this, but it was only one thought, and the thought was love. Right? Well, I guess love, family, it's all associative under the family tree of love.
Right.
Love makes this work, like, better than dark rituals and drinking blood. And if you love yourself and you have someone, the cat, your dog, your fish, your friend, mom, a friend, a plant, you sit around and you say, I love you. I care about you. I feel this. I'm connected. Inside of that thought, it opens you to this other stuff.
But
that's how it occurs.
It also connects you. It grounds you more to the earth and to the object of your love. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, win-win. That's what it is. That's what it comes down to. Now, this is what everybody likes to hear about the being, so I want to just tell them.
Yeah, go ahead.
The way I sat up in the bed and I looked at the being, and he was very lengthy, right? So he had a beard, and everything was white, chalk white.
Like Moses, or
his whole skin was white, his hair was white, the beard was white.
In the Rudolph series,
the abominable snow thing that was just all white. Yeah, he didn't look nothing like that though. He had a long face, very long, right? Like almost cylinderish, and he had a long beard on top of that, and he had his legs crossed, and he was sitting, and I said, "Oh, you're the one that told me to get the crystal." By the way, my crystals came. We're not going to be able to get this whole conversation out tonight. But I'm going to tell you what happens when you add crystals to this craziness. Okay. All right. Well, I had mentioned it a few shows ago.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They came. They're wonderful.
They mentioned the crystals. I came out on Facebook. There were these crystal store, and I ordered 2 of the crystals, and they just came. They were the exact same crystals that they showed me to get, which was unreal. So the next statement that was made, all right, as this being spoke, you can see more of his body. So when he first said, when he was like aware of my happiness and love, and he's like, oh, that makes it work so much easier. And I seen more of his face as he spoke. And the longer he spoke, I started to see his body. It was almost like the vibrations of the thought from head to head were causing vibrations everywhere, and I could see him forming. And I'm like, wow. Now, picture sitting in the center of a clock. This is the only way I could explain this, because I'm always afraid of demonic entities after what I've seen entering into me.
Oh, of course. I mean, how much stuff have we pulled out of you?
I've seen so much. I can't curse no more on the show, but I've seen so much of it. My hair is turning bright white on my chin. It's insane. So I'm always like, nah, you can't come near me. Don't touch me. Don't come near my body. But now I'm sitting in an upper, higher realm.
Right.
And I'm sitting on the center of the clock face. Right. And at 12 o'clock, a being is speaking to me. So I go, okay, I can see you. This is great. Okay. I might be stoned. Is this a hallucination? Is Frank bugging again? Is this? Oh, absolutely. You're not bugging. How do you feel? I feel actually fantastic. And I look, and at my 3 o'clock is another being speaking to me. And I say, wow. And it was just ahead. And as it spoke, it was so gentle. It was like this. Right. And it made me feel so, instead of jumping back because he was very close to me,
felt comforted.
I was like, oh, this is so nice.
And I just want to say this. This is not on a psychedelic. This is just like a random Tuesday or a Wednesday after watching shows on TV.
Yeah,
this is just hanging out.
You don't need the psychedelics.
No, you don't. And this was my argument the whole time. You don't need the psychedelics.
You might use them as a tool to crack you open.
Oh, absolutely.
Further progression.
Yeah, further progression to fix something you want to go in and fix, or
Or you want to just travel. Some people want to do it. Crack yourself wide open. Have fun.
But you don't even need to do that
But
now.
you have to be anchored. You have to be anchored. All right. So then I say, okay, who are you guys? And now I see that there's multiple of them. And as each one speaks in time, like they're not finishing each other's sentence. It's like one sentence is finishing and then another person speaking. But they're never speaking over each other ever.
Right.
And a woman appears at like the 1 o'clock. Right. And she was beautiful, lengthy, chalk white, long face, no beard. And I said, are you a demonic entity? And they all laughed. They took a chant one at a time. And I seen every one of them. And I heard laughter from behind me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, you guys are just all over the place. They're like, well, you're inside our collective now. You're able to like clearly sit here. Right. With us. You're here with us. This is it. You're doing it. And I said, okay. And you're laughing at me about the demonic. They're like, we assure you we're not demonic entities. So I say, are you? And I get all nervous.
Yeah, but you're done with all that.
No, yeah, but you have to ask.
You do have to ask. Yes, you do have to ask. But just the fact that you're talking to entities is weird. So you do have to ask. But you have to understand, Frank, you're vibrating at a higher frequency now. All of that is in the lower level frequencies. You don't really have to be concerned with that anymore. I know there's trickery that goes on, and I know they try to get information from you, but you're good. You're safe. You know what you're doing. You know where you are.
Right. Yeah. I'm not freaking out like that. I'm more like the kid in the candy store that sees every candy and has to interact with every single piece and touch everything. So I have that attraction to it, but I'm also very animated. You've seen me jump when the cat scratches me. It's like I was shot in Vietnam and I go down for the count. So I have to watch myself there as well.
Well, you're a little excitable. Okay.
Right. So that's what I'm getting at. So they start explaining to me, because I look down and I notice everything below me was where I was, like here, like sitting in the bed.
Physically in the room.
Physically was really
it was falling away.
It was very far away, almost like Earth was peeling away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I can see the other realms. And I knew they weren't demonic at that point. I said, I feel so comfortable with you guys.
Right.
But when I looked down, they said, okay, we listened to some channelers. We know some of them are BS. And we hear the BS in it, and we go, okay, we're not listening to this anymore. But we know the good ones, and there's a couple of good ones. We've talked about Barbara Marciniak before, but she talks about what the beings that are interacting with her. I saw them below me, right? And the beings I was with were going, no, look here. And as they were speaking, they kept saying Wendy Kennedy, which is Josh's Wendy. Well, his connection. His connection is through Wendy. He used to work with her. You guys heard the story on the show. So I go, so you're the collective that everyone speaks about. And they started all talking, and I go, you can only ask one question at a time, because they will answer you. If you ask 2 or 3, like, what am I doing here? What are you doing here?
It's like
what is this
essay
happening?
form. Yeah, you get an essay form answer.
Your consciousness, your higher consciousness could handle the faster conversation,
Mm-hmm.
but my physical body can't handle that.
No.
Right? So they started attacking me with answers. And I'm like, whoa, enough. And they're like, you're still here. And I go, yeah. How many of you use, because now this is where I get curious with them. They answered all these questions for me, so I knew they weren't demonic. That's all I wanted to know. Where are you from? We're from the Pleiadian star system. Okay, that's cool. You guys are the collective consciousness. Are you reptilian? And they said yes. They said, I said, you don't look like a reptile in any way. But you also don't look like a human in any way. No. You do. You have arms and legs, but you're humanoid. But if you walk down the street, they're like, we don't have bodies. We're a collective mind, but we're also individuals inside this collective mind.
Right.
And I'm like, well, what are you doing here with me? Like, what do you want? Like, I know what you're doing, but what do you want? Everyone is relying on us making this shift happen, because after that, they just showed me, there's a wall, I guess, of you get smart and then you hit a wall. And you're like, I just can't make this thing work no more. I don't know what else to do. And you have to go somewhere else to get more smart. Right?
Well, yeah, you have to get the information.
You have to find another way to get wisdom. But then you hit a wall there, and you're like, I just don't get it anymore. And then you look back at those that you left behind.
Yep.
And you see that they're hitting walls, and you go, wait a second, we're all the same character.
Right.
We're all one. Oh, I got to go back and get them. And then you really do have to go. They have to make sure we make it. Because from there now is in the future, and the AI and that draconian Babylonian system of stuff reaches them.
Right, and they're worried about their survival, so they're coming in to give us some tips and tricks on how to navigate
on top
through this. Yeah,
of all of this, we have their DNA in us.
Yes,
a lot of us.
Yes,
not all of us. But a lot of us.
No, I think everyone.
You think? I don't know.
I
don't know if it's every single person. I think everyone's got something.
Yeah. Of
somebody's. But I don't know if everyone's Pleiadian. Now, I put up the picture for tonight's show on Facebook. It'll be part on the downloaded for the after show. The being that's on here, I talked about my first experience on DMT. I was sitting with a family. My mother was my sister. Mm-hmm. We were all blue.
Yeah, I remember that.
We were all bald. She had my mother. Another woman was my mother and had long hair, but only like a bun. The bun was like in the back, almost like a kickboxer. And it was beautifully like twisted, and it was gorgeous. But see this thing she had on her head here? It's like technology, like a line of tech. She had it over her eye. And I said, she is beautiful. And then I went, I'm blue. And I went, Mom. And I started freaking out, and they pulled me out of it. And I said, what the hell is this? So when I searched Pleiadian, this being came up in one of the first pictures. And I said, that looks exactly like my mother looked, except the piece is on the wrong part of her head. You just slide it over her eye, almost like a technology tattoo that looks awesome. And I kept saying, we're in the future. And she was like, we're here. Like, she didn't understand what I was asking.
But it's always now.
Right.
It's always, no matter where you are, it's always now.
To her, I was probably the kid, whatever I'm named there, spazzing out for a moment. Is that the music?
Yeah, I can't believe that. That was like so fast.
All right. Well, we absolutely love you guys, and
we missed you guys.
Stick around. Stick around for Chris and Cherie coming up next, and wherever you go, may the source be with you, and we're your protection
from deception. And we'll pick this up next week. We'll continue the story.